to the next team in the AL Central. And as Jake said at the beginning of the Twins one, our rankings were done before the Correa trade, before a lot of the offseason stuff happened. The Tigers come in next as the second in the division. I do think that I'll be interested to see if we vote now. But they were ranked 20th in all of baseball. Last year, they won 77 games. They lost 85. They got Hinch at the helm, and they're climbing back up. They were digging down for a long time. They finally found whatever they were looking for down there, and now they are climbing back up. Jake, what did they do this offseason?
Man, yeah, we should definitely do a poll like the Wednesday before the season starts and see how much the TPP rankings would have changed. Jim, who they lost, your guy, Matt Boyd, he's now slinging it for San Francisco, so expect a 3.1 ERA out of him. Jose Urania remains unsigned. He gone. Nico Goodrum, love watching him play. He's out on the Astros. Watch out for that. But fellas, look what came in. Javy Baez, bang biscuit. Love that. Eduardo Rodriguez, Erod, kind of the staple of the Red Sox rotation of recent years. Tucker Barnhart, how's your gold glove behind the dish? Trev, you ever hold a gold glove catcher's mitt? Andrew Chafin coming out of the bullpen, doing it southpaw style. Big Mike Pineda locking down the back end of the rotation. And Willie Peralta, sure, minor league deal. We note stuff like that. Trev, the rotation makes me curious like a cat. What do you got?
Yeah, me too. I like it. I think we're going to start off with the guy, Erod, coming over from the Red Sox. Career worst year last year, but he still parlayed that into, 5 years, 77 M's, get you the bag. Erod, he'll kind of be like the veteran presence there. Casey Mize, is he young anymore? He's not young anymore. This group I kind of think like, hey, these are young prospects making their way up. Now, these guys are here. Like, it's time for these dudes. So we got Casey Mize, Tariq Skubal, Pineda, another veteran, Matt Manning, and then Turnbull. He underwent TJ surgery in July. So probably not going to happen this season. I don't know what they're saying. In my guess, not going to be there. The bullpen, Gregory Soto, left-handed pitcher, Michael Fulmer, Andrew Chafin, who you mentioned, Jose Cisnero. I don't know who that is. He's a right-handed pitcher.
Nasty.
So they got some pitching. And I think that's why, we're high on this team. And then you kind of look at the lineup now, James. I'm looking at them. I liking.
You like it?
I like it.
It's balanced, to tell you that. They got Akil Baddoo, rookie sensation from the Twins. He's a lefty. Robbie Grossman, near and dear to BBD's heart. He loves Grossman. Switch hitter. Javy Baez. That was a big one. He's a righty at shortstop. Jamer Candelario hit a home run in spring training. Switch hitting. Mickey Cabs. Jonathan Scoop. Loves it there. Signed a whole big deal. Wants to be there. Riley Green, they have penciled in the center field. NRI in spring training. So that makes me think center field's up for grabs. Again, Tigers fans, your team. Where's Ray? Where's our guy Ray?
He's a stud. Riley Green's like their stud.
Green and Torkelson are like big prospects.
Like
big prospects.
But top prospects.
So why do they do? I guess I never heard of Riley Green, or if I had, I didn't commit it to memory.
Torkelson,
I know.
40 man, yeah.
I know, not on 40 man, but it's like my brain sees NRI and I think like journeyman, you in Texas.
Fangraphs should use another thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
and Tucker,
easy, bro.
Tucker Barnhart
right now.
Tucker, friend of the program, sent me a jersey. It's a Reds jersey though. So now it's like, am I honoring him by having that?
I think so. Yeah. It's vintage. Immediately it's vintage now.
Wow.
Throwback.
Okay. So yeah, that's the lineup.
How do you feel about it, James? You said balanced. What else comes to mind?
Hey, I don't want this to be a knock. I don't think the Tigers are a playoff team, but I don't think they're bad anymore. I think they're like a competitive team. I think they'll be a little over 500. I think they're going to feel better at the end of this season than they did in the last season. Like, I think they're going to continue to go up, but nothing here like does a ton for me. But also, I am admittingly like just not incredibly familiar. I've looked at the Tigers in such a bad light the last 3 years. So like Jonathan Scope, Jamer Candelario, like to me, those are just, those are Those are the veteran guys that are on the bad Tigers team. Like, and that's kind of as much thought as I've given them, which I understand is rude or just like ignorant. So, but I'm admitting that. So I need someone to tell me, like, how excited should I be?
I think here, I'll give you something. This is what I've been hearing about the Tigers. If the boys come up and become guys, we're looking at a nice little team here. We need these guys who are pedigreed to the max. Torkelson, 1 overall. Ryther Green, I think, was the 5th overall pick. Like, these are guys that you're banking on to come and put a jolt into the organization. If they come up and do it, and you mix them in with some of the veterans like Scope and Baez, we'll see what Miggy Cabs has got for us. Man, like, he turns everyone into a good hitter. Nick Castellanos owes that man some money. I'll tell you that much right now. So they need those guys to step up. And from all accounts, these guys are like, they're the real deal. So be excited. If you're a Tigers fan, I mean, I'm getting pumped about them.
Yeah, it's interesting. Erod goes to the top of the rotation currently. He got the bag. Good for him. And hey, this is going to be a fun one for ERA plus and ERA people, going from Fenway to pitching in Detroit. Like, I bet Erod's video game stats look a lot better this year than with the big monster over there. Casey Mize is a name that probably more baseball people should know. He was a 1-1 draft pick last year. I mean, 30 starts, a 3.71 ERA for a 24-year-old starting pitcher. Like, I guess the question for me is, at the end of the year for the Detroit Tigers, is Erod the 1, 2, or 3 starter? Like, does Casey Mize jump him and he becomes a true 1? Scooble, he's the lefty. He's got some fun stuff. He had a solid year last year. Like, can he find another level? Because if they do, Matt Manning, a young pitcher, he got knocked around a little bit last year, but was a big prospect as well. Where does this rotation end the year? If Erod's still slotted as the 1, I don't love the year for Detroit because they're hitting. There's still not a lot there, man. Like, even if one of Riley Green or Torkelson comes up and they're a guy, the lineup still just leaves you a little. You almost wish each person was down a spot in the lineup. Like, Miggy Cabs kind of has this like alumni spot on the team that he gets a spot in the middle of the lineup, and deservedly so. Dude's one of the best players to ever play, so I'm not really knocking it. Jim, we do the scare test on lineups. Who in this lineup scares you right now?
Jimmy's not scared of anyone, though.
I mean, no, like big spot. I don't know. Scopes crushed the Yankees a couple of times. I think Jamer, is it Jamer?
It's Heimer. Yeah.
No, they say it with a J.
I think it's Jamer.
Really?
I've been saying Heimer.
Yeah.
Last year I said Heimer,
Jamer.
and they say it with a J.
Oh, I
Baseball
love that.
reference is Jamer.
Oh,
Jamer.
James. Nice. That's perfect. James Jamer.
Yeah, I don't know.
What an idiot.
Javi doesn't. Like, I think Javi's supposed to be the answer, but he doesn't.
Like that. That's the thing. If Javi was the 3rd scariest option on this team, like, that's a lineup. That's kind of how the Cubs thrived when he was there. Like, Javi can have a huge year, and maybe he does, and I hope he does. Javi's projections from Fangraphs is 253, 298, 27 homers, 16 swipes. Like, for that to be the anchor of your lineup,
Up.
I mean,
the Miggy Cabs effect. I'm telling you right now, if you want to like buy stock in dudes, Javy Baez getting to work with Miguel Cabrera is gonna, like, that 294 OBP gonna be up this year. That his projected for, that's gonna be up, because that's what I'm telling you, man. It's like a master class in hitting that all these guys are going to get to go to. And to your point, maybe there's not someone who just scares you in their lineup, but if they have a bunch of guys with OPS pluses over 100, that's what you need.
True.
Get guys on base and driving runs. And then, can Torkelson or Riley Green come up and really just give this massive bump? Akil Badu's like kind of a guy. Like, so patiently optimistic. We got to see how it goes. Like, I like it. I think there could be a ton of wins in this lineup. But we're going to have to see. These young guys got to come up and do it.
My question for Tigers fans, and I needle and I troll and I'm annoying to Twins fans, but I'm being genuine here. Is like what are your hopes, like Tigers fans? Like what do Tigers fans think they can make a wild card team this year, or are they just
Yes.
hoping to yes?
Yeah. I think they can compete for the AL Central.
They signed Erod and Javi. Those are two monster signings.
Yeah, and they wanted Correa, so that got their organizational hopes.
Erod and
no
Javi are
doubt.
two monster signings.
Jim, I mean, both. What Erod was 80 mil. Javi
I know
was
the money
$140.
was there. I know what the money says, but neither are.
If the
Yankees
signed Erod and Javi, I think we'd be saying those are,
But the Yankees have Cole and Judge. It's the same point that you just said. Like those guys aren't the ace and the anchor.
They're banking on a lot of young guys, mostly on the hitting side and the rotation for a little bit. Like I guess that's what I'm saying. Like if we were AL Central guys and we'd seen 10 Casey Mize and 10 Skubal starts, I think we'd be speaking more highly about them, like where their stat lines landed. So I think they feel pretty strong on that side. Like Big Mike as a 5 starter, like the Tigers rotation can be very real. It's just
he just listed as a 5 because of that. He had I think he had 30 starts and a 4 ERA last year.
I don't think we need to read anything into how they're placed on the roster resource thing.
Yeah. They won. The Tigers had their final record is what it is, but they did have kind of a winning year last year. It was winning percentage above 500 in May, June, July, just under in August, and winning and above in September. Now it's a game over every month. But that's why I thought they were fun last year, because they were supposed to not do that at all. And then
I guess
the hinch effect.
And I guess that's what, because they had that awful start. They put that in their rear view. They played solid ball. Then you add Erod. Then you add Javi. Then you add Torkelson, Riley Green, 2 top
Zach
6
Short.
prospects. That's where, if you're a fan base, if you're a fan of the Tigers, you're thinking wild card. I don't think any of us would place money on a Tigers wild card. But it's, spring training.
James, I got something for you, bro.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I know you like catchers.
Yeah.
And you like names. And I like big players. And Jake, I don't really know what you like. Dylan Dingler, catcher, 6'3", 210, one of their top prospects. How do you feel about that one?
It's illegal, straight out of a baseball movie.
Dylan Dingler, the catcher. Bro.
Also, Baseball Reference has him as catcher outfielder, which is a joke I make. I make a decent amount, because that just means you can hit and you're slow.
Well, no, it's funny. They have one of those already in Eric Haas. So Dylan Dingler's the understudy. Slipped in the draft a little bit out of Ohio State. Sorry, I had information and wanted to get it out without being a total douchebag. But
who was their catcher last year with the mustache?
Wasn't Pudge, right?
No.
Okay.
Mustache last year?
Yeah, he had a classic mustache.
Hold on.
Tigers catcher mustache. Here he is.
I don't
Jake
see any
Rogers.
mustache guys. Jake Rogers. Okay.
Wow.
Another great baseball name.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like a dog who becomes a human.
How about this? Okay. Stay alive.
Okay.
In this new
Tucker,
playoff
also
format.
Dog name. So all the Tigers catchers are just dogs.
Dogs.
Dingler, Tucker, and Jake.
If you're a Tigers fan, how about you dream of staying around all year and then you go Atlanta Braves and you add yourself a Jock and a Soler and hope they click, right? That's your best case, kind of.
Yeah. Before we get into the over-under, which I want to do, Max's fun stat, really nice. I like this one because it's a big milestone. Miggy Cabs, We know he got to 500 home runs last year. 13 hits shy of 3,000. So he'd be the 7th player to achieve 500 home runs and 3,000 hits. The other guys, Hank Aaron, Willie Mays, Albert Pujols, Alex Rodriguez, Eddie Murray, and Rafael Palmeiro. That is elite company right there. So that's going to be awesome. I have that to look forward to for the Tigers. 77.5, James. 77.5. I think I know where you're leaning. Let's say it all together on 3. Yeah?
77. What did they do last year?
They were 77 and 85.
Over.
Oh, okay. 3. Over.
Over. I think they're going to get better than last year.
500 ball club. I think so for sure.
If they didn't have an abysmal April last year, they're over. And they had like a bad April. Like it was like 300 winning percentage. Like if they win 3 more games, they're there. And I do think they should have gotten better. They did get better. I'm gonna go over.
What do you got? What do you got?
I also already lied about an over-under in this episode.
I'm going under.
Oh my goodness.
I just drank a little bit of the Twins Kool-Aid. Dude, put the offenses next to each other. It's like no contest. You could say the same for the pitching a little bit. But I kind of liked where we landed with like Minnesota. Like they got to go. They just paid Buxton and everyone. Like they're in it. Where the Tigers, like there could be a September this year for the Tigers where we're like, okay, like let's Riley Green, Torkelson, Skubal, Manning, like we're still finding out who these guys are as young players. I don't like it. I don't feel great about it. I wouldn't bet against it. And opposite of the Guardians, I'm going to root for this Detroit Tigers team because I think they can be really cool.
I'm going to root for them too. Tigers finishing second. I mean,
Torkelson, 70 grade power.
Animals or baseball?
I didn't mean what I just said.
Okay.
Yeah, what did you just say?
I meant Guardians.
Now you're just silly.
So where do you have the Tigers finishing?
All of the Guardians pitchers are better than all of the Tigers.
That's not true.
Not Erod. Than all of the Twins pitchers. Like all of them.
All of the Guardians? Yeah, but look at their offense.
Yeah, but pitching's more important. Anyway, but we already did that conversation.
Yeah, we did.
I need the Twins to make a trade. I'm going over on the Tigers. I'm rooting for them. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. But I'm glad that there's hope in
next year is we're talking like, okay, here we go. Like Torkelson will be up. He's a guy like we know it. Like I just said, 70 grade power. He's only 6'1", 220. I thought this guy was a monster, but
how big are you again?
6'1". I'm getting to 200 again. I'm getting close. So me and Torkelson, same guy.
All right. That ends the Tigers portion of this episode, or if you're watching on YouTube, just of this episode. We are moving on